Learn how to get your dog to laser focus in 30 seconds without yelling. How to make the leash go slack by teaching your dog to choose you. How to build canine discipline at home with no e-collar and no drama. How to stop pulling, jumping, and selective hearing with one simple rule. And how to start scent training with 3 socks and a hallway. If you want calm, clear, reliable results that look like true canine work, here is the blueprint based on professional structure and timing, not punishment. Think in 3 pillars. First, mindset. Choose clarity over volume. Reward the behavior you want more of. Change only one variable at a time. Distance or duration or distraction. End on a win. Second, mechanics. Use a 10-second pre-start ritual so the dog switches into work mode. Stand still, harness on, treats ready, say the name. The instant you get eye contact, say yes and pay at your knee. Then say, let's work and move. Use a reward marker, yes, for you did it, and a release marker, break, for session off. Follow the leash rule. A loose leash goes, and a tight leash stops. When the leash makes a letter J shape, you move. When it tightens, you freeze until it loosens. Then you mark and go. Third, milestones. Follow a 7-day ramp with measurable targets. Day 1. Build engagement indoors with 10 clean name to eyes, to yes, to pay reps. Day 2. Teach loose leash indoors, then in a quiet yard. Walk 1 or 2 steps. Pay every time you see a J-shaped slack. And if the leash tightens, you freeze until it softens. Day 3. Add 1 moving distraction at a safe distance and keep slack for 10 meters at least once. Day 4. Build recall on a long line. Say come. Jog backward 2 steps. Pay a small jackpot for fast and straight returns until you get 5 out of 5 at 10 meters with no second cue. Day 5. Start scent games. Rub a treat on a sock. Place it under 1 of 3 cups. Release with find and pay on the first hit. Aim for 4 out of 5 correct on the first try. Day 6. Practice impulse control while moving. As your dog locks onto a distraction, turn 180 degrees before the leash tightens. Mark the turn, pay at your knee, and keep moving. Aim for 3 clean turns with 0 leash tension. Day 7. Run a short, real-life loop. Start with the pre-start ritual. Mix 10 meters of slack leash, 1 recall, and 1 cup find. Then end with a calm sit at the door and a clear release. Train twice a day for 5 to 7 minutes. If you fail twice, step back 1 level and win it before moving on. Pay at your knee to magnetize position. Use higher value food outside and a Y front harness for comfort. Fix the big mistakes. Do not mark late. Practice your timing so the marker happens at the exact moment of success. Do not raise distance, duration, and distraction at the same time. Change only 1. Do not talk through leash tension. Silence plus a freeze teaches faster. Do not pay at the nose. Pay at your knee. Do not end on fatigue. Stop on success so tomorrow is easier. Keep these micro rules in mind. Reward on time or it is not training. Lower the difficulty, not your standards. Dogs repeat what gets paid. How to turn your dog into a focused canine partner at home without yelling and without gadgets. How to stop leash pulling in 7 days with a simple rule. How to build a bulletproof search mindset with 1 short ritual. How to teach your dog To say there is no scent so you stop wasting time. How to start scent work today using a sock and 2 boxes. How to reward like a professional so your dog learns now, not next week. How to read the dance of a trail so you can lead with confidence. How to follow a car trail with realistic expectations and the right drills. How to make difficult urban starts feel easy to your dog. How to keep training clean, fair, and ethical so results stand up in the real world. Now, let us put all of this into one clear flow that you can speak and follow. The backbone is an arsenal of simple exercises that build intensity and clarity. You will end nearly every session with an intensity trail, because finishing in the right emotional state is what the dog remembers next time. An intensity trail is short, direct, and high success. You place your trail layer a short distance away with wind in your favor. The dog reads a clean start and hits a very obvious find quickly. You pay big and play short, so the dog leaves the session hungry to work again. Then you gently lengthen the search time while guarding the success rate. The delayed start intensity uses the same structure, but you deliberately wait before releasing your dog, so the dog rehearses calm on the line, then snaps into drive. On your cue, that is how canine teams control arousal without shouting. The scent article intensity comes in 2 joined halves. You begin from a scent article such as a hat, pillow, seat, or collar that holds skin, scent, and sweat. You present the article cleanly from a bag or box. You do not jam it into the nose. You let the dog read and choose direction. Then you run a very short, high success trail that ends in a fast find and a big reward. This stitches together the idea that the article equals the person, and it turns careful sniffing at the start into confident movement, even from awkward places like a windowsill, a stair landing, or a door handle. When the start position is odd, shorten the trail, so the first right answer happens almost immediately and confidence grows. Extended intensity is the same idea stretched across distance or time, but you never allow the ratio of wins to crash. You are building attitude, not merely mileage. Finally, run flip, which is a quick switch from familiar to unfamiliar. At the instant you pay for a find with a known person, that person quietly leaves a second person, steps in as the new target, and you run a tiny trail again. This shows the dog that the rules never change, even when the target changes. These 5 drills are your warm soil. Every other skill will root in them and hold. How to read your dog without guessing comes next. The best handlers watch the rhythm of the dog and let that rhythm guide decisions. The beginning circle is the short radar sweep at the start. When the dog samples the air and ground, the trail circle appears when a line of scent drifts or changes, and the dog opens a wider loop, then tips back into the track. Classic cutback is the crisp retreat, when the dog overshoots a turn, then slides back to hook the freshest line. Flowing negative feels like a soft, empty road. The dog is moving, but the nose is not pulling, and the path looks vague. A head turn is a quick notch of the muzzle, and eyes toward a line you just crossed. It is an invitation to pivot and catch it. The most important signal is the no forward scent indication, also called NFSI. This is the dog saying, there is no trail ahead, right here. A clean NFSI looks calm. and decisive. The dog slows or stops, gives a short, tidy scan, and often returns to you to ask, "What next?" A trained NFSI saves hours because it stops blind wandering. If you are seeing early loss and choppy scattered motion, think about scent, quality, and scene history. A bad article, heavy prior searching, or heavy contamination can all cause noise. Compare what you see to your clean 100-yard training trails. If the behavior does not match your normal pattern, change article, or move your start rather than pushing harder. The point is that patterns only speak clearly when your training has standardized them. So your job is to keep your rituals constant and your rewards precise. How to handle scent articles and identifications like a pro begins with a clean chain of custody. Pick articles that truly touched skin or trapped sweat. Handle with clean gloves, bag, and label where and when you got them and who gave them. Present the article from a container with a small opening so the dog can read, not inhale, and avoid steering the head. If the dog hesitates, face the dog away from the likely route, so any choice to move mez from the scent, not from your body. Pulling ruins. Learning identification. Behavior should be simple and universal. Pick one behavior that means, "I have the person," and also use that same behavior to mean, "There is no scent in this direction." So the dog never has to guess. You might teach a light jump to your leg, or a sit and look up. Reward the no scent answer like a win, because it is the right answer in that context. If you punish a clean no scent signal, you will teach your dog to lie. When you must work with a dirty article, use controlled decoys. Place similar people and decoy trails near the area, so the dog must choose the correct scent rather than the crowd. Your reinforcement must be swift, accurate, and generous, because timing is truth in dog training. How to keep the foundation strong and build field wisdom means you start adding context while guarding your core rules. Positive trail reinforcements are tiny wins you hide inside longer work, such as a surprise find or a few pieces of food placed along the path. Walk back is a planned backward check to confirm you are still on the freshest line. Casting is not random. It is a methodical fan to left and right in set slices until the nose hits again. Covered trails teach work. Under or along structures. Scent pools explain why smell can collect at corners and parking lots. Barriers and obstructions teach the dog to read scent that wraps around fences, hedges, or walls. Cross and split trails coach the dog to pick the scent. Right line when paths intersect. Keep a small field notebook of what your dog does in each scenario. Within a few weeks, you will owe you in a private library of patterns. For example, when a person gets into a car near an intersection, you often see a clean, no scent just before the dog snaps toward the roadway where the wind carried scent. You will notice the pattern widen and the cadence change compared to normal on-foot behavior. Your notebook helps you recognize that, without guessing, how to turn advanced skills into simple components is the secret of component training. Pre-scent is a short, quiet pause before work. The dog breathes, reads the air, checks in with your eyes. Then you cue, begin, and the nose drops. Now, the dog starts calm and clear. No scent identification, or NSI, is a signature component. Draw a circle with a radius of about 12 meters around your suspect exit. Keep the leash at the boundary and let the dog answer the question. If there is no exit, trail. The dog returns to you. You invite the practiced report, such as the light jump. Then you pay big and immediately run a tiny intensity trail, so the dog leaves on the rule. If there is scent, we go. Same scent contamination is a lesson about picking the newest path. Have the target walk a zigzag, then recross older lines. Your dog may drift, but with your guidance, it learns to lock onto the freshest thread. Casting for understanding at a junction is a deliberate survey of air and ground to decide which arm holds the freshest human scent. Casting for a second scent on an article teaches that one item can hold more than one person, and the dog must pick the one you assigned. General area starts teach wide net. Searching when you only know the zone. Known route starts teach. Precision when you know the exact line. Door identification, multiple buildings, and subdivision work add architecture. The dog learns to point at the correct entry, choose the correct stairwell, and pick the right block. Backtrack and high fines teach that people can turn back or be above ground level. Car seat starts, and missing person starts from a vehicle or a house. Teach a clean launch from real living spaces. Walking identification builds the reflex to report while the person is still moving. Team training and the handler pep talk to get the people on the same page. Because handler, emotion, and language matter. Vehicle pickup identification and vehicle trails need clear eyes. In real cases, vehicle work has a low success rate. So set expectations. Yet training still matters, so you can recognize the pattern. Design. Practice where the target enters a car, drives 4 or 5 blocks, then stays inside. Start your dog 1 block away so the odor is faint. Learn to see the negative pattern of frequent curb changes, a wider search lane, and less straight pull than a walking trail. A standard 3-phase drill is pickup point, then a clean no scent on the wrong exit, and finally, the correct vehicle trail. Always keep your pre-start ritual just like a real call. Night training and heavy contamination study. Edge cases such as busy plazas or alleyways. Fence identification uses a double reward. Pay once for the dog, indicating the fence line, and pay full when you find the person behind it. Stream crossings and forest work. Build terrain literacy so the dog reads wind and canopy. Patrol pairing and transforming a patrol dog show you how to keep bite discipline separate from scent rules. Hidden trail layer days remind you to run blind work so you truly read the dog rather than the plan. Whatever the component, the philosophy repeats. Win fast, win clearly, and end with an intensity trail, so the emotional memory is right. How to train in public contamination without losing the plot. Use store entrances, markets, and transit edges as controlled chaos. Begin with flip to move the dog from finding a familiar person to finding a stranger. Then fold in, delayed start. And scent article starts in the same setting. Age the trail from minutes to 12 hours and beyond as the dog proves stability. Use the wind to your advantage and avoid teaching the dog to surf along walls. Finish each public session with a short, obvious win, so the dog walks away successful. How to approach vehicle trails and vehicle pickup without myth. Start with the hard truth. Real vehicle trailing in the wild is tough. Your success rate will be modest. So train for recognition and for fast decisions. Create practice where the target gets into a car, drives a few blocks and stays inside. Begin the dog away from the entry point to present a weak odor. Then study the telltales. That widen and wobble you see is often car work. It does not feel like a clean human. Walking line. Tie every drill to the same pre-start ritual so the dog and handler arrive with the same mindset. The classic sequence is: mark the pickup location. Get a clean, no scent on a false lead. Then swing onto the real car line. How to teach fence identification so your dog does not bound. See back and quit. Keep the trail short enough that commitment happens before the barrier. When the dog shows the fence, clearly pay a partial reward. And when you locate the person beyond it, pay the full reward. This prevents confusion at barriers and teaches persistence. How to handle scent lineups and legal reality means respecting procedure. There are two families of lineups. One is lineups with people, and one is lineups with inanimate objects, such as shoes, bedding, door handles, or car seats. Courts expect fairness, objectivity, and documented reliability. So your training must mirror that. You need a clean and neutral setup. Handlers who do not leak cues and records that show the dog has been trained and tested specifically on lineups, not only on trailing. Judges and juries also look for common sense criteria. The dog must be a suitable breed or type, trained to track humans with proven field reliability, placed in the right location where scent should exist, and worked within a possible, reasonable scent time window. Above all, the handler must explain the procedure in calm technical language, without exaggeration. Keep training logs, lineup videos, and checklists ready, just like safety gear. How to keep your reputation intact is the final and most important lesson. Honesty is your armor. Report what happened, not what you wished would happen. Do not inflate limits. Do not promise miracles. Do not claim that one success proves a rule. Maintain one training log with date, weather, terrain, scent, age, article type, start, ritual, session, goals, outcomes, errors, adjustments, and notes about the dog mood and your own main-ta. In a simple monthly tally of success rates by context, time to no scent signals, and any errors related to poor articles, your practical kit should include a pre-start checklist, a one-variable session plan template, a lineup worksheet, an NSI, report form, and a progress map that tracks distance, duration, and distraction. Keep them in the field bag so every new teammate can do the job the same way. Remember the partnership. The dog is not a tool, it is a partner. The contract is simple and human. You are clear and fair. You reward on time. You end on a win and begin with purpose. Keep that contract, and the dog will carry you farther than force ever could. How to use this text today. Read one section aloud and practice it now. Run a tiny intensity trail this evening. Teach one clean, no scent tomorrow morning. Pay at your knee so position sticks. Use your 10-second pre-start ritual before every walk. 2 short sessions a day are better than one long grind. If you fail twice, step back 1 level and win it. Pay more for harder moments. Use higher value food outdoors. Use a Y-front harness for comfort and freedom. Let silence be your teacher. When the leash goes tight, freeze and wait for slack. Then mark and go. Keep a small notebook and write what you see, because memory lies and ink tells the truth. Load your vocabulary with trainer lines that keep you honest. Reward on time, or it is not training. Lower the difficulty, not your standards. Dogs repeat what gets paid. End on success, so tomorrow is easier. How to stop the pull. How to build recall. How to launch scent work. How to make your dog say, "There is no scent." And how to do it all with calm, clear steps is now in your hands. Start today and train like a professional canine team.